Most people barely glance at sardines as they walk down the aisles of the grocery store. Those small cans tucked away on the shelves usually get passed by without a second thought. Maybe it's the smell or a vague memory of some old-fashioned meal from decades ago. But here's the surprising truth. Inside those tins is one of the most underrated health foods out there. Sardines have long suffered from a public image problem, particularly in places like the United States. They're dismissed as cheap, outdated, or just plain unappealing. But the latest insights from nutrition science reveal a very different picture. If more people knew how much sardines could do for their heart, bones, brain, and even their blood sugar, you'd probably see a lot more of them disappearing from store shelves. Sometimes improving your health isn't about chasing the latest trendy superfood. It's about rediscovering the timeless ones that our ancestors already knew were good for us. Sardines are one of those forgotten gems. What makes them so unique is that when you eat them, you're consuming the entire fish, not just the meat, but also the skin, bones, and even the organs. If you're used to boneless fillets, that might sound a bit odd, but this is exactly why sardines are such a nutritional powerhouse. Those parts we usually discard in other fish are loaded with essential vitamins and minerals. When you eat a whole sardine, you're getting calcium from the tiny bones, omega-3 fats from the skin and flesh, and crucial nutrients stored in the organs. Just one small can gives you about 18 grams of protein, over 700 milligrams of omega-3s, and more than 100% of your daily requirement for vitamin B12. That same can also delivers a meaningful boost of vitamin D, iron, and roughly 30% of your daily calcium. Sardines are, quite simply, one of the most nutrient-rich foods on Earth, especially when you consider cost and calories. It's like getting a complete multivitamin straight from nature, packed inside a can. Heart disease continues to be the #1 killer around the globe. For years, we've been told that omega-3 fatty acids play a vital role in protecting our cardiovascular system, which is why so many people take fish oil supplements. But here's a twist you might not expect. Eating whole sardines may actually be more beneficial for your heart than taking a fish oil pill. A 2023 review published in Frontiers in Nutrition laid it out clearly. Sardines provide more than just EPA and BHA, the key omega-3s. They also supply calcium, potassium, magnesium, iron, and zinc, all packed into one bite. These nutrients don't just work in isolation, they act together, creating what scientists call a synergistic effect. This means their combined power is greater than their individual contributions. As a team, they help calm inflammation, lower oxidative stress, and maintain healthy heart rhythms, benefits that fish oil capsules alone often can't deliver. It's yet another example of how whole foods offer far more than isolated supplements. When you think of calcium, your mind probably jumps to milk, cheese, or yogurt. But sardines? They're actually one of the best sources of calcium around, especially for people who can't or don't consume dairy. Because sardine bones are soft and edible, you get a rich, natural source of calcium that your body can absorb easily. Even better, sardines come with vitamin D built in, which helps your body make the most of that calcium. That's critical for bone strength, particularly as we age. Research shows that older adults with low calcium and vitamin D levels are more likely to suffer fractures and take longer to heal. A 2022 study in nutrients found that fish nutrients, like those in sardines, can directly support bone healing, especially in seniors. So if you want a budget-friendly way to strengthen your bones, it's worth adding sardines to your meals a few times a week. Now, here's a benefit most people don't expect. Sardines may play a role in helping prevent type 2 diabetes. According to the CDC, about 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, and most of them have no idea. That's a huge number, and the risk of progressing to full diabetes is serious. But a 2021 study in clinical nutrition looked at what happened when older adults with prediabetes added sardines to their diets twice a week. The results? Pretty remarkable. The group eating sardines had a significantly reduced risk of developing diabetes compared to those who didn't. Their good HDL cholesterol rose, while triglycerides and blood pressure dropped. Researchers believe the benefits stem once again from the unique combination of nutrients in sardines. Fatty fats, vitamin D, protein, and calcium all contribute to metabolic stability. So, if you're trying to manage blood sugar, sardines might be a smart and tasty ally. Omega-3s also have a deep connection to brain health, though that fact doesn't always get the attention it deserves. DHA and EPA, the specific omega-3s found in fatty fish like sardines, are critical for maintaining cognitive function. A 2018 review in the journal Nutrients examined 25 randomized studies and concluded that omega-3s support better memory, attention, and visual processing in children. In older adults, they help protect brain function and may reduce the risk of mental decline. Yet again, getting these nutrients from whole food sources like sardines seems to be more effective than relying on supplements. When you eat sardines, you're delivering fats to your brain in their natural form, along with other helpful nutrients. Plus, sardines are far more affordable than omega-3 capsules, and you don't have to deal with swallowing big pills every day. In a world where Alzheimer's and cognitive issues are on the rise, this small fish could be a simple line of defense. Whenever people discuss the health benefits of fish, someone inevitably raises the issue of mercury contamination. And rightly so. Mercury exposure is a serious concern, especially with larger predatory fish like swordfish, tuna, and king mackerel. These fish sit at the top of the food chain and accumulate high mercury levels over their long lives. That accumulation becomes a risk when humans consume them regularly. But here's the reassuring part. Sardines are among the safest seafood choices when it comes to mercury. They're small, grow quickly, and sit low on the food chain, which means they don't absorb nearly as much mercury as larger fish do. Their short lifespan doesn't give mercury much time to build up. Because of this, sardines are considered a smart seafood pick even for vulnerable groups, like pregnant women, nursing mothers, and young children. That said, moderation and diversity are always good ideas when it comes to any food. Experts recommend eating a variety of seafood rather than relying too heavily on a single type. Still, when you're looking for a low-mercury fish that supports heart, brain, and bone health all in one, sardines are a clear winner. But nutrition isn't the only angle worth considering. More and more people today are thinking about how their food choices impact the environment. That's where sardines shine again. They're one of the most eco-friendly animal proteins you can eat. Unlike overfished species or farmed fish that require massive resource inputs, sardines are wild-caught, naturally abundant, and quick to reproduce. Their populations replenish rapidly, which makes their harvest far more sustainable than that of slower-growing species. Compared to salmon farming, which often involves antibiotics, crowded pens, and ecological damage, sardines are a cleaner, simpler option. Even wild-caught tuna and other large fish often come with a hefty environmental cost, including bycatch, fuel consumption, and disrupted marine ecosystems. Sardine fishing, on the other hand, tends to involve fewer bycatch problems and less harm to ocean habitats. In short, if you're looking to lower your environmental footprint without giving up animal protein, sardines offer a smart and ethical solution. Now let's talk about something practical: taste. One of the biggest barriers to trying sardines is the perception that they taste too fishy. It's true, they do have a strong flavor, especially compared to bland whitefish. But that doesn't mean they're unpleasant. In fact, with the right preparation, sardines can be downright delicious. The key is knowing how to introduce them into your meals in a way that fits your preferences. Start simple. One easy option is to serve them on toasted whole grain bread with a little lemon juice, black pepper, and maybe a touch of mustard or hot sauce. The acidity cuts through the richness and balances the flavor nicely. Another classic approach is to mash them with a bit of olive oil and spread them on crackers, kind of like a rustic pâté. If you enjoy pasta, sardines pair beautifully with garlic, parsley, and olive oil. Add a pinch of chili flakes and a squeeze of lemon, and you've got an affordable, flavorful Mediterranean-inspired meal. For those who find the flavor too intense, sardines packed in tomato sauce are a great option. The sauce helps mellow the fishiness and adds a tangy depth. You can also mix them into rice dishes, salads, or even scrambled eggs for an added nutritional punch. If you're watching your sodium intake, look for low-salt versions or simply rinse the sardines under cool water before using them.
One of the great things about sardines is their convenience. Unlike fresh fish, you don't have to cook them, refrigerate them, or worry about them spoiling quickly. Canned sardines have a long shelf life and can sit in your pantry until you're ready to use them. That makes them a perfect emergency protein or a travel-friendly option. And they're incredibly cost-effective, offering premium nutrition at a fraction of the price of fresh seafood or high-end supplements. Let's take a step back and look at the big picture. What makes sardines so remarkable isn't just one thing. It's the combination of benefits they deliver all at once. They support cardiovascular health by reducing inflammation and improving cholesterol profiles. They strengthen bones thanks to high levels of calcium, vitamin D, and phosphorus. They enhance brain function with DHA and EPA. They help regulate blood sugar and could lower the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. They're low in mercury, high in affordability, and gentle on the planet. In a single serving, sardines provide nutrients that many people try to piece together with a handful of different pills: calcium supplements, fish oil capsules, multivitamins. Yet sardines offer these benefits in a natural, highly absorbable form that's easy for the body to use. This is the kind of nutrition nature designed, not isolated synthetic ingredients, but a complete synergistic package. So why don't more people eat them? Honestly, it comes down to perception and habit. Sardines have an image problem. They're often lumped into the same category as outdated pantry items or survivalist rations. But the truth is, they deserve a second look. They might not be glamorous, but they're dependable, accessible, and scientifically proven to deliver results. If you're someone who cares about your health and wants to make smarter food choices, don't overlook the little things. The little fish in the back of the shelf may just offer the biggest benefits. We often chase after trendy health foods, chia seeds, acai berries, collagen powders, thinking that the newest discovery will unlock better health. But sometimes the best options are the ones we've ignored for too long. Sardines don't need marketing hype. They've been quietly offering incredible nutrition for centuries. Generations before us understood their value. It's time we rediscovered that wisdom. And if you're still on the fence, consider this. Making sardines a regular part of your diet doesn't mean you have to give up variety. It just means you've added a reliable, affordable, nutritious option to your toolkit. Rotate them into your weekly meals. Use them on busy nights. Pair them with fresh ingredients to make flavorful, balanced dishes. Your heart, brain, and bones will thank you, and so will your wallet. At How to Know, we believe in empowering people with practical, science-based knowledge that makes healthy living simpler. Sardines aren't a magic bullet, but they're one of the rare foods that come close to being a complete package. If more people understood their value, we'd see less reliance on expensive supplements and more trust in the foods our bodies already recognize. So next time you're browsing the grocery aisle, pause at the shelf you usually ignore. Look past the flashy packaging and marketing buzz. Grab a couple of cans of sardines. Experiment with them in your meals. Give this humble fish a chance to change your mind, and maybe even your health. Because sometimes the secret to feeling better, thinking clearer, and aging stronger isn't something new. It's something small, old, and already waiting for you in a can.